welcome to the Utah Puck Report. We're back. I took a week off. 9/11 and the Charlie Kirk thing kind of threw me for a loop, so I had to take a week off. I want to thank our sponsors for being so generous and sponsoring hockey in so many ways. Larry H. Miller Toyota in Murray. These guys are awesome, and right now you can lease a 2025 Toyota Tacoma SR5 double cab, $299 a month for 36 months. That's Larry H. Miller Toyota in Murray. As for Jeffrey, he'll take care of you. He's a great hockey guy. Today, we are going to break down some of the Utah Mammoth, the problems from last year, and the steps they took to correct them this year. We're going to talk about the power play, maybe get into the penalty kill. We'll talk about some overtime losses. We'll talk about how those things are fixed. And I wanted to bring in a hockey expert, so I brought in a good friend of mine, former Utah Grizzlies. So I'm wearing my Utah Grizzlies hat. And
Love it.
He's obviously sporting the violent gentleman hat. Yeah. Mason Mannek, known you since literally since you were born. It was fun to watch you grow up playing the dub and then play for the Grizz, and you're just killing it at life right now. And thanks for being on the show.
Appreciate it, Jay. Happy to be back.
So first off, let's talk about special teams with the Utah Mammoth and talk about some of the struggles from last year and on the power play and on the penalty kill. They were basically ranked in the middle of the league, 14 and 16. Penalty kill, I believe, was 78% or almost 80%, almost 80%. Power play was less than that. I've lost my note, but they went out and they needed to add depth. They needed to add goals, right? Basically, to fix that power play, which a lot of times your special teams are the difference between winning and losing. So what did you think last season when you were watching it? And then what did you think as you're rolling into the summer and you're seeing like Peterka and Tanev and those guys come in?
Yeah, I think the potential this year is very, very high. I think last year, the more games we watched, I think you can't deny the skill level that is on that team. But now we've added a little bit of depth. And when we touch on the power play, I think last year maybe you've seen a little bit the plays get a little bit fancy. Maybe we look for that extra pass. And now when we're adding a guy like Peterka, who's come close to 30 goals the last 2 years, hopefully we get a little bit more of that shot first mentality, and then that can capitalize to more goals. So I think the biggest thing for me on the power play was maybe a little bit of an extra pass or two. But like I said, hopefully with the shooter like Peterka, we can limit that, and then we'll put some pucks in the back of the net.
Adding a player like Peterka, 70 points last year, that killer shot from the right side, and you got Gunther with the killer shot from the left side. It made sense to me to put them both out there, move Keller to defense. Everybody else says I'm nuts for that. And so right now, as listed, power play 1, Schmaltz, Cooley, Keller up front, Gunther, and Sergachev on the back.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you? Or?
Yeah. I don't hate what you're saying, but it'd be hard. I think it's hard to take Sergachev off that, right?
Well, I say you leave Sergachev on D and put Keller on the other side, because Keller's a good quarterback, and he's got that. He always fakes that slap shot. I wish he would just shoot that a few times.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you put Sergachev and Keller on the back, like power play, when I get maybe you're putting too much into it. Are you putting all, like, if you did what I did, did what I want, Cooley in the middle, Gunther on the left, Peterka on the right, Keller on left D, and Sergachev on right D. That's basically your big gun, everything in one power play. Is that too dangerous?
I don't think so. And here's one thing I like about having your half wall guys being Gunther and Peterka is you have threats on both sides. So coming from a penalty kill standpoint, if you're on the other team, you have to respect both those sides, and you can't really cheat. And that, I mean, obviously being a man down, if you're, let's say Peterka goes for a one-timer and you got to play him, you're leaving another guy, another very a crucial guy wide open. So I don't hate having two threats to shoot on the half wall at all. So I don't mind that.
And if you wanted to take a little bit of I just think Cooley's so good in that bumper spot as a center. But if you wanted to even change that a little bit, like put Kraus as the center and let him be bumper and just be the big body up front. Barrett
Yeah.
Hayton, like
Yeah.
Hayton is he's such a menace to
Yeah.
put. I love the way he plays. And if he's on PP1 and you put him at center as a bumper, like nobody's gonna move him.
Yeah.
He's a big kid, and then like you said, the threat on left and right. But the crazy thing is how many choices we have this year compared to next year.
It's
Because
crazy,
we're
right?
talking about that. Yeah, we haven't even brought up Schmaltz and Dersey and
Yeah.
these guys are like even when we bring up, and then you got Tanev too, who's more of a
Hmm.
PK guy. We'll get to that, but I mean that the depth we added this year is just so overwhelmingly. It just seems like nobody's going to be able to keep them off. I'm like they're
Yeah.
going to be like 99% on the power play. I know that's ridiculous, but it's just when you look at it, you just start to salivate a little bit.
Yeah. Another thing on the power play too, just because my favorite spot in the power play was always net front guy. I love McBain up front, obviously
Yeah,
a grindy guy. Not afraid to tip pucks and take a beating in front. Then obviously you got Kraus, another bigger body. So um, our net front is good. I mean, I know we've had those guys both last year, but I think that they only add good things to that first power play.
a respectable or like what you really want in the NHL. If you're the best power play in the league, you score 35% of the time. Last year, Utah scored 24.15% of the time, scoring 57 out of 237 opportunities.
Mm.
So those wins and losses add up. If you get just a couple goals, if you think we lost 7 games in overtime, that maybe we just would have got a power play goal,
Yeah.
that would have been the difference. We missed the playoffs by 7 points.
Yep.
I mean, you start looking at that. All right, let's talk about the penalty kill a little bit. And I'm going to start off with something that I haven't been allowed to talk about. But one of the top PK guys for the last 17 years in the NHL, who's been on PK1 for the LA Kings forever and won 2 cups with them, then was on PK1 with Calgary, PK1 with Winnipeg, back to LA, is Trevor Lewis, who's in
Oh yeah.
Utah, unsigned. And I just think, why not bring him to camp? Why not bring Trevor Lewis in? And like, you're looking for veteran leadership, you're looking for help on the PK. I know we brought Tanev in, I know he does the same thing, but no, like Trevor Lewis is one of the fastest, hardest working guys in the NHL. And people don't realize how fast he is, but
Yeah.
they know he's one of the fastest guys in the NHL.
It's hard when you look at his resume not to do it, right? Like I mean, 2 cups, and he did it and like over 1,000 games, and he did it the hard way. Like he wasn't handed anything. Obviously, being one of the only guys from Utah to ever do it, and then to do it being a PK guy, blocking shots, playing a 200-foot game, like that's a to a young team that the Mammoth have that veteran leadership. You'd think would be something that would be super beneficial to them.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor Lewis is done in the NHL. I know he's got options. I know he's weighing those
Yeah.
options. I text him every day, if not twice a day, being like, "Hey, what's new? What's going on?" And he's like, "I'll tell you when it happens." He's like, "I have options, but I'll tell you when it happens." I'm like, "But you got to let me break it." Um, so let's talk about the penalty kill a little bit. It seems like PK1 right now is going to be probably Cole Sergachev. Just based on last year, you could be looking at more of a Mata Marino. You just don't really know exactly what the PK is going to be yet. And the names that we haven't seen worked in the NHL at all are Simashev and Danil Boots. I think
Mm,
Danil's going to. It's going to be hard for those guys to make this team this year. As much as we've
yeah.
been excited about them, when you look at the moves they made, and it's going to be hard for those guys to make this roster. And you start looking at power
Yeah.
play and penalty kill, and you want those 6-6 bodies in there.
Right.
But, but the roster's deep. What are your thoughts on
It
the
is.
on the PK?
It is deep. I know I saw their training camp roster come out, and I was like, man, that is going to be a tough team to crack. I mean, other than your top six, it's like kind of wide open. But on the PK, obviously Tanev is a huge addition. Kind of a little energizer bunny. I think I was reading last night that he had 105 block shots last year, which was pretty high in ranks of forwards. And obviously you got Ian Cole, who I believe led the league. I think he had 211 last year. And then another thing I really like with the PK that I don't know if anybody's touched on is our goalie situation now. With Familka and now Vanacek, a cup champion, and and all that. As a penalty kill guy, like I killed when I was playing, I killed penalties a lot. But having when you have good goalies back there, it makes you kind of grip your stick a little bit less. You trust things a little bit more, and I think it helps the penalty kill flow a little bit better. So that's another thing I'm super excited about in that aspect.
Yeah, and it's not that Ingram was like Ingram had statistically he was better than Vamelka in a lot of ways, but he was just not. I don't want to say anything negative about him, but you just kind of you knew that he was mentally one bad game away from maybe not being mentally
Yeah,
strong.
I
I don't know
think
how to I
it's
don't know how
hard.
to politically say it.
It's it's hard to say without like sounding too bad, but I feel like the team played a little bit different, like depending on which goalie was in net. And then even when he left, and we had, I think it was a Stauber and I'm forgetting the
Stauber
other
and
one
Matty
there.
Villalta, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just think like when Vamelko played in that, and they had like that consistent, um, good goal. That wasn't the right word. You know what I'm trying to
I know it.
say,
Don't worry, you're not gonna get in trouble. I
but
know what you're saying. Uh
yeah, but I just feel like there was
Veggie
more
brings some
confidence.
swagger, right? Veggie brings swagger, and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
that swagger is better than another point percentage wise on your save percentage. Like the swagger helps your team believe in you, and it also makes the other team a little bit more
yeah.
afraid of you. Like I I I looked twice as good as I ever was because I was overconfident. I was all fake, but I looked confident, I acted confident, and that gave my team
They
confidence.
don't know that.
Right, and it made the other team think I was good because I looked confident. They didn't know I was bad,
Yeah,
but yeah, bringing
yeah,
in
yeah,
Vitek Vanecek, he's been good. He was good with New Jersey. He found a good place to play. Uh, and backing up Bob and going through what he went through, and he got a couple games in the Stanley Cup championship and the playoffs,
yeah,
and that kind of building. And then plus both being Czech goaltenders, they're going to be able to feed off each other. There's more comfort there with each other. They speak the same languages, and they've known each other for a
yeah,
long time. So you're right. Bringing in both goaltenders, absolutely secures your background, and I think helps the team a ton. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, and then on Tanev, like that guy's has led his team in penalty kill minutes for the last 3 years. That's pretty
mm-hmm.
good, and that's bringing somebody in that really knows what
Oh
he's
yeah,
doing. And that's again, when you
100%.
talk about it, when you look at that training camp roster, you're like, okay, that's why they didn't bring in Trevor Lewis because there's no room for anybody.
Yeah,
There hasn't like
yeah,
all these guys. I just feel bad for, and um, it's just gonna be crazy to see who makes what and where they end up. Um, but who else do you think is going to be really good on the penalty kill this year? And we talked about Ian Cole, and no secret, I've been friends with Ian since he was 18 years old. Um, he's just an amazing person. I think they brought him in last year as a veteran, as a cup leader,
mm,
and they said, "Hey, you're going to play like 12 minutes a game." And I think he
yeah,
played 18 to 19 minutes a game because of the
yeah,
injuries. He blocked shots. He did he took a lot of penalties because he was out there all the time,
yeah,
like just killing himself to keep us from getting scored on.
yeah, yeah. No, he was like a huge glue guy. He's like kind of almost like the dad of the team. I don't know if that even makes sense, but as far as a leadership perspective, I really like it. What do you think about like Nate Schmidt on the penalty kill too? Like I feel like that could be another guy who could be um beneficial in that aspect. Kind of an older guy.
Yeah. Well, talk about the depth we have. Nate Schmidt's on the top of my list to
Yeah,
talk about penalty kill, and I never even brought him up because I got
yeah, yeah,
so crazy about everybody else. But Nate Schmidt, he's a high energy guy.
yeah,
And if you're not familiar, and like you said, you killed penalties, it's so much energy and the
a lot.
stamina. No matter
Yeah,
what if you're running the diamond or you're running box, you're being pistons or whatever, it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of back and forth. And then it's like taking a shot off the shin or off the butt cheek, and you still got to be right back up and
yeah.
killing that energy. And Nate Schmidt is a perfect penalty kill.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think those statistics we talked about are just gonna get so much better. I wouldn't be surprised if we improve at least 5% to 10% and get us in that NHL elite on
Yeah,
penalty kill and on power play.
yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think on both sides of the ice with what they've added, we're in a very very good spot. And I've one thing I preached on last year, and I'm sure everyone that's listening to this podcast is probably sick of me saying it because I think I've said it every time I've been on here. But like our face-offs, like that, face-offs are like almost the biggest part of both sides of the penalty kill and power play. And like having a guy like Stenlin, like to me that is huge. And I think even on some power plays you'll see. I know last year they did it where they'll send him out, he'll win a draw, and then he'll change. Like having a guy who can do that too, that's super helpful on both sides.
Stenlin is 56% on faceoffs throughout the year.
Yeah, if
And
you're above
and I'll
50, that's
yeah, unreal.
yeah,
That'll extend you another year in the NHL. I had a friend a long time ago, a guy named Rico Fata, first round draft pick, plays for Pittsburgh, plays for the Rangers, and he's like, they I just sign I get $1 million a year. I get off the bench, I go take a face off, I win the face off, I go back to the bench.
yeah, yeah.
That's how
Like
important face offs are.
just the young kids like coming up and that are like trying to pave their way and make it. Like that's such an important skill to have. Like you work on that for 20, 30 minutes a day and you get good at that, you can do really good for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Um, you want to let's talk a little bit about the improvements we've made and compare that to some of the improvements that we think the other people in our division that are fighting for those same playoff spots have made. And so in the Central Division, Jets, Stars, Avalanche, Wild, Blues, Preds, Blackhawks. And if you look at that division, I think Jets uh, bring in Captain Sirius and Jonathan Taves. That's some,
Yeah.
2 years without playing because of the long COVID. Who knows how he's going to be, but you think he's going to be pretty good. Stars were already good.
Yeah.
Avalanche get Landon Skog back. So you're looking at those top three spots as kind of almost already taken. I think
Yeah.
between the Stars and the Wild, and then you start looking at those other spots that we're going to be fighting for: Wild, Blues, Preds, and Blackhawks. I don't see us being a team at the end of the season chasing the playoffs. I see us being in that third or fourth spot.
I agree. I mean, just like you see, like the team. I mean, I know we dealt with some little bit of injuries last year, but what you saw like them end the year with and how they. I mean, we were in the mix the last little bit, and now with what they added, I think with what we added, we're better than what other teams in the division have added. So I think like when you talk about like in an improvement standpoint, I think we're right up there with the top of them, in my opinion. But,
Yeah, and the other cool thing about it is our AHL team is going to be stacked this year. You've got guys that are going to be. We've got bubble players. All right, Carconi could or could not make the team. Who knows? Like he's good enough to be in the NHL. He signed. He stayed because Utah believes in him, and I think he wanted to stay playing here. And I think he's a guy like if he doesn't play here, but somebody gets hurt, that's a perfect guy to bring in, and he can fit in almost
yeah,
anywhere. He's got that
yeah,
speed game. He's a tenacious player. He's one of those guys that fits in anywhere. Stenlin's the same way. I don't see Stenlin on our opening night roster. Um, and if Boot and Simashev don't make opening night roster, those are guys that can get brought in right after. But we've got the depth that we didn't have last year. That's why we had to go out and get Stenlin. That's why we had to go out and get Olimata
mm-hmm.
because we didn't have it. So I think that's the thing that's going to keep us in a top four spot.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about that. I mean, Oli Mato's been around for a while. Stenlin's been around for a while. Obviously, I hope my boy Karks is here.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are some like guys that have played quite a few games in the league that you're talking about maybe not making opening night roster. Which, if that's the problem you have, then you're in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think there are some younger kids with 0 NHL games or 5 NHL games, like Lamoureux. Lamoureux could very well be on this opening night roster. He's good. He's
Mm-hmm.
bulked up. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't.
Yeah,
That just gives him more time to grow. This isn't any. We're not saying any of these guys aren't good enough to be in the NHL. They're just getting more time to develop. And there's like 5 other guys on that Tucson roster that should make the NHL within the next 2 years.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
all
yeah.
right,
It'd be
well,
interesting for sure.
it's a crazy day. I know a lot of stuff's going on. We're dropping another podcast Monday. We've got somebody that I've been excited to interview for a long time. I'm gonna have Veggie on the show on Monday. Pretty excited about that.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you. I don't know why it took so long.
That's
He's
right up
he
your alley. That's
he
awesome.
does not love the media. I've had all the other goalies. I had Ingram on, I had everybody on, and then I finally got a chance to ask him a question, and everybody kind of made fun of me because I just asked him about his pads, but it went viral. Got
There you go.
130,000 views or whatever. Um,
Love it.
yeah, and his pads are the sickest in the NHL.
Yeah, I saw them. They're pretty clean.
Although Shesterkin's New Rangers pads look pretty sick too. Mason, next weekend, let's do another breakdown. Let's look into some more stuff, and let's break down this every piece of the Utah Mammoth as we go through the season. I have you. I think Trevor said he'd be on it, and Jack Skilly. And if we all just
Sweet.
jump on and break down stuff, if I get enough smart people around me, I don't even have to say anything. I'll just introduce you guys
Yeah.
and let you guys
Yeah.
tell me about the game.
There you go. Yeah, we'll see. Those are Jack and Trevor. That'd be good to have.
All right. Well, once again, Mason, do you have anything you want to promote before I let you go? There's your chance. How's your organizing company?
Yeah, it's good. We're kind of branching off. I have some products in the works. We're gonna start selling products on top of our services. So I'm excited to get that dialed in. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but it's in the works. But yeah, my company's Endless Organized Solutions. We do professional organizing of all things residential, commercial, and whatever you may need. So,
How do we find you?
socials. I'm on all socials. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Just Endless Organized Solutions. Can't miss it.
Perfect.
And then
All
it's
right.
on all my personal stuff too. You can find it. So
All right. Find Mason Mannek online. Have him come organize your house, your garage, your shop, or whatever. And Mason, once again, thanks for being on the show.
yeah, appreciate it, Jay. Thank you.
That is the Utah Puck Report.